Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Football Manager 2020 Zero to Hero Youth Factory FC episode number 24. It's final day of the season. We've already wrapped up the league, and we'll go over some various, end of season things here briefly, and then we'll be quickly pushing on to the next season. I've already handled what I need to handle regarding staff movement. I've got 2 new coaches, and I have renewed all of the other coaches. Tom Gregory just picked up his 29th goal of the season with Luka Jackson getting the assist. Alfred setting that one up though very nicely. Forbes has been filling in at right back since Warren was sold. He's done a good job. Left wing has been an issue. Adrian Williams is our backup at left back. He's been playing in it. Jordan Daly has come up from the U18s to play that position, but he's still training to play that position, and the assistant manager doesn't feel that he's ready. As Martin Wright just tied the game, his 9th goal this season here in the 40th minute just before halftime, so Stevenage is back into this one. After Rush's shot was blocked, that was just really poor from Luka Jackson. And nice little chip pass to go far post there. Nothing that Barry Ball could do to stop that one. Shots 4 apiece, even though we completely are dominating possession so far. Can we get the lead back for halftime? That cross went to no one. Forbes, nice interception. Thought he was going to continue the overlap there. Did not. Oh, great ball. Owen, his ball cutting back. Didn't reach its target. We remained at just the 4 shots here in the first half. You know what? I'm going to calmly say I'm not happy. And everybody but Moffitt is fired up by that. And I'll take that. I have made some changes. I sent my low ambition guys that they've been there for ages and not getting better. It's been 2 or 3 seasons of trying to get them to fix that low determination factor. So I finally sent them down to the U23s and brought up a number of guys in their place. 1 came from the U23s, and I brought up at least 3 players from the under 18s. In their stead. So 3 down, at least 4 up, plus the 2 that were sold there in January. Speaking of sold, Tom Gregory might be gone here anytime. The MLS is coming in big. Again, these last couple seasons now, they've been the real threat to us losing players, and 2 of the last 3 that we have lost have been 2 MLS sides coming in kind of during this offseason, willing to spend just a little bit more, and they've been breaking that threshold that is getting us to release players. Tom Gregory's latest offer was $900,000, which is more than what we lost Eddie Warren for, but still not quite Scott Frame territory. Oh my goodness, we're out of time here. Let's do something. Ryan Douglas is one of the ones who has come up. Let's bring him on for Kieran Spence. And then we're going to go with Jordan Daly for Adrian Williams, who is apprehensive. You can see not quite suitable to that left wing, but we're going to put him in there anyway. And we're going to go very attacking here. Final seconds of the season. Looks like it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. Fairly strong control of the game, but it wasn't enough. 1-1 is how we ended. Of course, the season was already wrapped up. We have not actually played terribly well here in the final few games. And we'll just say that not good enough. There you go, and done. Alright, so that's the season. We're going to go straight into some of the end of season feedback stuff. We'll look at some stats and see how we did. And then we'll be moving on to the next season. So first off, season done, 42 games played. That's 32 wins, 9 draws, and yes, the team took 1 loss. The funny thing was the media feedback after that game was unrest in Carlisle, and is Youth Factory FC falling apart? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on in the locker room? There was multiple messages regarding that. It's like 1 loss the whole season. And there's dissent. Final goal differentials plus 67. Final point total 105. That's big. Especially it's a 22-team league. It's not a 24-team league. That wasn't 46 games played. That was 105 points in a 42-game season. Stourbridge was the one who got the victory against us. It was 1-0, and we were on the road. 9 draws, all at 1-1 or less. 32 wins, and majority of them were multiple goals, but there's a few in there you could see that are 1-0. We did certainly give up some goals. It was anything but a flawless season, that's for sure. No doubt eager to make smart club gamers allowed no fewer than 35 players to leave, including the decision to offload Lee Williams and Toyne to New York Red Bulls for $1.8 million. It's been a generally positive reaction to Gamer's tactical approach. Superb season for Gamer Academy as they claim the title to back up their preseason credentials. Let's go ahead and look in the squad before we push forward and get a little bit of that feedback. Gregory and Ball played 52. I think that's all 52 this season. McKinnon started 50, played 51. Spence played a lot. Jackson, Halford, Owen all played a lot. Moffat, a little bit less. Aitken, a little bit less, and then it really drops off from there. Hammond, 28 starts, but 20 appearances off the bench. Forbes, 18 starts, 25 off the bench. I think all of the 18, or 16 at least of the 18, came after Warren's transfer went through. Cousins ended up with 10 starts. Gibbons, just 7 for him, and again, most of those after Scott Frame was gone. Ramich, just 6 starts. Wow. Williams, 6 starts. I think all of those, or most of those, also after. So it was Williams and Gibbons kind of trading off that left wing role. Gregory with 29 goals. Owen with 22. Frame had 20 plus before he was gone. McKinnon ended up with 9 goals. Halford, nice little balance of 7 and 7. Forbes 6 and 5 from fullback. That's pretty dang good. Gibbons 5. Aitken 4 goals. Luka Jackson had 3 and 6. So kind of similar numbers to what Forbes did, but Forbes did it in a lot fewer appearances. In terms of assists, it was Tom Gregory who was the leader, so scoring or setting up others. Not gonna discuss anything like that right now. All right, we're going to take a really, really quick look at the top 6 tiers. There you go. Gregory now up over $1 million. Cincinnati comes in $1.1 million offer. And that was straight up. No incentives or anything. That's just straight up $1.1 million. Glad that they were able to turn that down. All right, so final standings, it's Kettering, Guiseley, and Alfreton going down. Alfreton just going down on the final day and on same points as St. What is that, Neotes? Farsley, Starbridge, that was our one loss, and they're all the way down at 17th. But it was after we had wrapped up the league, so it makes sense. It was a game after we had won the league. Curzon, Ashton, Darlington, Barrow, Stephen H., Whitby, FC United just 11th. It's so weird to see them get relegated back down to the 6th tier as fast as that team is rising, and with the management that they have. Gainsborough, Southport, Spennymoor, promotion playoffs, Kings Lynn, Nuneaton Borough. You've got Kidderminster, AFC Telford slipped a spot to 4th, Stallybridge up to 3rd. Matlock stays in 2nd, but only 2 points clear, so they struggled a little bit down to the end of the season, and we ended up winning by a full 20 points. We had 89 goals scored, just 22 goals against, which is roughly half that of any other team. The next close was Stallybridge. Kidderminster had 37, so 15 below them, so not quite half for a mark. In terms of goals scored, we only had 5 more than Matlock or Stallybridge. So our defense really pulled us through, but in terms of goal scoring, there was nothing exceptional about that. We pulled results, I think, largely because we have a first 11 and a group of reserves that are now all capable and really pulling us through to get results. But we don't have that dominant striking duo or trio up front. They're good, but we're not the dominant force we were before. I think we just kind of have the full 11 to kind of make things happen. Briefly looking, we do continue that run. After finishing dead last in the first season, we've won every year since. That's 6 in a row now. Or is that 5 in a row? 6 in a row. And let's see here. Reputation at 2,000 now for the club. Attendance is starting to come up a bit. As we move on to that next tier, I think we're going to be even better in that department. And as for myself, reputation's growing. Everything else is looking pretty good. I'm actually starting to develop a handful of acquaintances out there. Got that Continental B license. And now that we're a day post the end of the season, let's see if we can go on and get the Continental A license. Oh, come on. Season's done. You don't need me at training anymore. Gotta wait until we send these guys on holiday. Reputation up to 6,000. Really strong at home. Around the world, though, it's still got a ways to go, but that's really developed a lot. And that's, I think, maybe starting to get me up there against some of the other coaches at higher levels, but maybe not. I mean, we're still just, it's 40%. It's a long ways from being maxed out. What is going on? Schedule should be clear, right? Done. Aren't we going on holiday yet? A whole week of training still. Another offer for Gregory coming in. No, it's the last one. U23s, by the way, a little improved after I reshuffled the squad after the youth intake, and now 6 wins and a draw this season. They're still not good, but they are getting better, and they're not even in the last. Chicago now coming in. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you... Okay, that's why. 1.2 million. So that's now the threshold. Tom Gregory coming in. 1.1 not enough, but 1.2 is. And he accepted right on the dot. Dang. Just like that, gone in an hour and a half. Just under 2 hours. And he's gone. Jeez, that was a quick... He was thrilled by that offer coming in. He's been a little bit of a headache. Gregory has not been pleasant these last couple seasons. He's given me a lot of headaches, but he's also given me a lot of goals since taking over from Nicky Matthews. That makes 3 players that we lost this season. 3. Now, combined, it's over $3 million that we've brought in for those 3 players. But that means nothing to me. Trying to build a competitive side and make our way through and become something. And eventually, we'll be able to keep all those players. But it's a real shame. This year, getting into that 6th tier, our visibility went up significantly. I'm hoping that next year we'll have raised that bar on what it takes to sell off players. Because Nicky Matthews did go for a lot less than what these guys went for. But he's been gone for a handful of years now. Those first couple guys that definitely went for less. Everybody who's sold now should be selling for 1.5, 2 million. Hopefully as we go up into higher divisions. Cousins picked up some mixed personalities. McAllister has picked up negative personalities for Lee Ness. And Owen, 4 appearances, 7 goals here in the final month of the season. Let's go ahead and take a moment. Congratulate him. Aw, and he dedicated it to me. No idea why we're still doing any training. It's so weird. It's May. We're done. These guys should be going on holiday. New first 11. Luka Jackson is one of 2 players coming in, the other player being Alex Helford. Neither one is into the first 11. But there might be some moves. Let me see here. Barry Ball starting 11. Eddie Warren is starting 11. How is Brad Catton still? John Gray and Brad Catton are still in the first 11th side. They just spent so long there. But there you go. The substitutes, Ryan Williamson, 1 season in goal. You got Paul Aitken, who's always challenging that. Luka Jackson, of course, now into the substitute group. Tom Gregory made it in last season. But now that he's gone, he's not going to make it into the first 11. Drew Dale in the substitutes. Halford has now made it on to the substitutes. Craig Baines-Cross is still here. He's one of the first... He and Williamson, but Williamson, that makes sense because Ball's been the only keeper we've had besides him. But Craig Baines-Cross is still on the list. You can see that center mid is the real weakness this team has had, as Gray, Catton, and then Baines-Cross are the main selections there. Halford on the list. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Halford moves into the first 11 next season. Let's see. 3 members are now retired. Really? Reds continue to be involved. Williamson Toyne is with New York Red Bulls. Matthews is with Derby County. Gregory with Chicago Fire. Scott Frame, San Jose Earthquakes. And Eddie Warren is at Millwall. The players to feature in the team were Ryan Williamson, Neil Curry, Craig Baines, Cross. Those guys are, I suppose, the retired ones. Curry's not in the side anymore, is he? Curry's who's been replaced. End of season awards. Stephen Owen ends up claiming the Fans Player of the Season. Scott Frame was still in there, but he wasn't selected since he's been gone for a little while now. Halford was the next top choice ahead of Dean McKinnon. Phil Hammond gets Goal of the Season. And Young Player of the Season, almost always the top player as well. It's Stephen Owen. Season review lived up to our billing, and you can see we were on top almost the whole season. Didn't start there though, it took us a little bit. Average attendance just a shade under 400, which is a big jump from where we were a year ago. We used 23 players in the league this season. Starting to get a look back on old ones. Club vision and expectations. Here we are. Do not sign. Develop using the club's youth. Play attacking. High tempo. Good 5-year plan. Work within payroll budget. Sign players to sell for a profit. Minimum 2-year contracts for first team players. Build a new stadium. So we have another new stadium that you want to build? We just built one. Reach playoffs next year is the goal. And then win promotion in back-to-back years. So they're giving us 2 years to go up. That's surprising that they want another new stadium. It wasn't a very big stadium that we built, though. I think we want to push right on. So we're going to go passionate and good enough to go up as champions next season. We'll be entering the campaign with that target in mind. Whoa, a lot of them are not thinking. Okay. Everyone gives 100%. I think they can do that. Yikes. Okay. Now the season break begins. Push forward 1 day. And that should mean I should be able to get in here now. And you're not going to let me. Okay, board. Come on, I want to ask. Or is it too soon? I'd like to make a board request, but let's see. Can we do this? No request there. I have to wait to do it. Oh, hello. New stadium announcements right there. New Factory FC board has announced today that the club has been granted planning permission to build a new stadium. This was the first year in this stadium, but we're already moving on. Construction of the stadium will cost around $3.8 million, which is much higher than the last one was, though this figure will be offset by $675,000 in selling the current stadium. Board is delighted to announce that they have been able to finance the project without having to secure any external funding. Additional funding for the project has been secured with a stadium sponsorship deal worth $500,000 and a $1.7 million grant from the authorities, which means we've got roughly $3 million of the 3.7 covered. Is that right? No. Well, not quite. About 2.8. So it's only going to end up costing us roughly $1 million to build the new stadium. Capacity is 4,468. That is a big jump in our current capacity. And it will be done next summer. It's going to be done in just a year. Wow, okay. We're going to move to Darlington Road. Agreed to rent Darlington Road next season after their promotion to the Vanarama National League. Factory FC Stadium, where they currently play, does not meet minimum Vanarama national requirements. No wonder. Club's objective of building a new stadium has finally been realized, and their vision for the future is very much taking shape as a result. Darlington Road is a 6,700 capacity in West Auckland. So the team got one single season in the stadium, and we already have to sell it and move. Facilities downgrade, not a problem. I will take care of that. But man, oh man. So that brings about the end of this season, and apparently as we go to move up, we are not the favorites. So we're going to be in the upper end of the league, but we're not going to be all the way up there. And a few players liked the idea of winning the league, but a lot of them a little wary about that. And it does hurt us that we just lost 3 of our most important players. I'd realistically say 3 of our top 5 or 6 players are gone from the side. That's difficult to replace. We had an excellent youth intake this last year, and you're already starting to see some of the development there. Smolka's up to an 86. Carl Manning, who just joined us, is already an 85, but he is fickle. But he's got that really good potential. Jack Weir already an 81, but low determination. He's only slowly making progress. David Stewart an 80. And Dean Kelly in 80. So plenty of these guys. Jack Stevenson as well. Maybe Nigel Madden. Those 8 players all have a real shot at seeing the senior squad for this next year. And for the under-23s, Erdogan's over 100. I really can't ignore him much longer. He will be the backup at the senior squad and play under-23s. Ian Gallagher isn't playing at all anymore. He's the backup at senior level and here. So feel bad for him, but at just 20, he'll stick around for a while until we have a replacement for him. In terms of somebody to develop it, he's slowly developing. Leon Dawson is one of the only ones who's still kind of growing here. I do have a few guys with about to expire contracts. I think Malky Black is one of them. Left wing. Don't necessarily want to get rid of a left wing. But there's a whole group of players here at the bottom that we're ready to part ways with. Harry O'Hagan is another one whose contract is expiring. It will not be renewed. Les Reed's going to be moving on. There's some players, this whole group, I think, that don't have the quality, don't have the potential, and we're really starting to thin that group out finally. Guys that we took in those first few youth intakes that definitely weren't good enough, but were better than what they were replacing. But that does it for this season. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to make a very, very quick glance through the leagues going up. Oh, it's going to do this for each and every one of them. League One, Wigan. It's annoying. Southampton in the Championship. And in the Premier League, it's Arsenal with 93 points this season. They still have one to play, by the way. Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, and Tottenham. Big jump from there down to Everton, Newcastle, Sheffield United, West Ham, Norwich, Leicester City, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Burnley, Brighton and Hove Albion, Fulham, Stoke, and Swansea. Just 18 points this season, only 3 wins. Sucks to be them. Heading back to the Championship yet again, as are Stoke and Fulham. Though, Fulham's not a guarantee yet. Brighton, their future is not yet secure. Fulham must win. Brighton, a draw or less, and they would be down if Fulham win. And while Burnley aren't technically safe, mathematically, goal differential, they're pretty safe. Have a good one, everybody. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.